Colocation is the provision of a highly secure, highly resilient environment for customers' applications and services. It's a place where they can keep separation of their physical infrastructure whilst taking advantage of the vertical industry in which they live and the ecosystem in which they operate, and connect with their supply chains and their customers. They can also take advantage of the telco connectivity that exists within those data centers. Customers can deploy a whole range of applications into co-located data centers. It really depends on how mission critical that application is as to how they deploy it, and whether they deploy it with a caged solution, whether they deploy it into an open colo solution. It really is down to how mission critical that application is to the business. But the answer is that any application can operate in a third-party co-location data center. The colocation provider is an expert in providing that building and has standards that they adhere to in terms of the building infrastructure, the power supply to that building, and the environment in terms of the temperature and humidity. So those are expertise that typically the service providers have that the customer may not. It's also highly costly to provide a high-powered environment in a customer's building. And so outsourcing that to a third party is a more cost-effective solution whilst retaining the security and integrity of their applications. Organisations should certainly consider, first and foremost, the resilience of the power into the building and whether that building is supplied by one or more power substations. That's critical to maintaining uptime in your applications. The second one is the environmental impact that data centre makes and how efficient it is at cooling the equipment that exists within that data centre. That also has an effect on how much you pay for power. And the third area is the accreditation that exists for that data center. So is it ISO 27001? Is it SAS 70 provided? These items will dictate how well run that data center is and how good the provider is at maintaining that data center. The network is critical. The reason it's critical is that you can house an application in a data center, but you need to deliver that service out to your end users, your end customers. And therefore, having a network that is able to distribute that to the end users is absolutely critical. We need to consider which route that network takes from the data center to the end user and what the latency is, because that will affect the application. So it is absolutely core to a data center offering. Another critical component to consider for customers is the replicability of these services internationally. So what you want to have is a consistent service in Europe, in Asia, in the US and beyond, and you want to approach a provider who can give you that consistency of service and standards that exist on a global basis. Colocation is a critical component in the continuum of services that you would offer an enterprise customer. So they may choose to put their mission-critical applications into a dedicated co-located rack. They may choose to put other applications into dedicated physical servers or cloud utility-based servers and operate it in an end-to-end service.